Welcome everyone to another edition of Nintendo Fuse Game Chat. This time we'll be covering Moonfall Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Today I am joined by my colleague Barry,
Hello, everyone.
and we both got some codes to this game that came out actually 2 months ago or so. Did you like all the different, like the style of the play, having just being able to jump right into the maps and go like back to like a village and all that kind of stuff?
Well, when I got it and I opened it up, I honestly didn't. I went in blind. I didn't know what I was getting into. I'm like, all right, I got this code. Let's do this. And at first, I was a little jarred by the animation, and I was like, am I gonna like this or not? And I didn't. I didn't like it at first. I'll be honest. I thought the hit detection was weird. I thought the map layout was weird. But it grew on me, and the more I played, the more I enjoyed. I died, early on, and I retried the mission. As I played through it, I liked it. I liked being able to jump into different maps and different quests and do the main story. And it kind of sucked that you only went back to the one encampment. It was very Diablo-esque in that sense, Diablo 1-esque, I should say. The nice thing was the shopkeeper had different wares every time you went back in. But that's not to say, even though I enjoyed it, it's not without its problems, and I did have some problems with the game.
Yeah, I was gonna jump into that. I pretty much shared those same sentiments. I wasn't quite sure what I was getting into, but then it kind of grew on you as you played more. Obviously, I'll talk in a little bit about a part that I got increasingly frustrated with, but then I eventually actually was able to overcome it eventually. But I think that was part of the design nature of the game. But overall, it definitely surpassed my minimal expectations. It's a very solid game overall. I wouldn't say it's like awesome, like the greatest of games, and I'm sure we'll be going into the kind of different things that we've kind of um, ran into. So, what's one of the problem areas that you had with like the style of it?
Well, one thing right off the bat was hit detection. It took a while to get used to because it's a multi-plane field. Think like a beat 'em up, like Final Fight. Even back then, playing Final Fight or Streets of Rage or anything like that, Turtles, Avengers. Sometimes you think you're about to hit them and you're not in the same plane level, so you hit over him and you have to like readjust yourself. And in an action-oriented game like that, that's no big deal because it just kind of floats with the action. But this, while it's an action RPG, you're punished if you do get hit. Like, health is very, very vital, and it's harder to replenish your health. So you really need to make sure you hit and back up, almost Dark Soulish in a sense. So you want to make sure if you're going in for the attack, you go in and connect. Once I got used to the levels of the field, it wasn't as big of an issue. But even in my later time playing, I did find myself still swinging and missing because I was in the wrong plane.
Yeah, I would say one of my first things is kind of more like the map progression detection seemed very like tight in a way. I felt like I just kind of go close to the edge of the map, and then I just feel like I just jolt into the next map, and then all of a sudden you can't go back because like there's enemies on the screen, and so then if you didn't know that you were that close to an alternate path, if you were very low on health and your potion stock was very low, it could leave you in a very dangerous situation where it could ultimately lead you to restarting the entire level. So it
Yeah.
definitely created some more pre-planning in nature where you might have to wait a while for your health to replenish or
Oh
simply
yeah.
go find another way. So that was kind of one of my main problem issues was with that changing the screens because it's majority of screens would often lock you in place because the enemies would spawn right upon arrival. So
We'll see about that. That's first off terrible game design with the enemy thing. Now, first, when you kill an enemy, they're gone. So you could back path, backtrack, and you're fine. There's no problem with backtracking. But if you go into a room, you are now locked until you kill all the enemies in the room, and that can give you a dangerous situation if you're low. But it also got game breaking at one point because I was using swords. I didn't have any ranged, And there was one map I went to in particular that had this island in the middle with an enemy on it, and there was a switch, and I couldn't hit the switch. It was impossible for me to get to hit the switch to create the cross the bridge because I had to come at it from the left and I was on at it from the right, but I couldn't leave because that enemy was in the middle. So there was nothing I could do. I couldn't hit the enemy. I had no range, and I couldn't leave. So I had no choice but to just close the game, and that frustrated me because I lost all my progress. Uh, I think things like that are just terrible game design.
Yeah, I actually think I ran into the same thing because I also chose the melee fighter, and then I think there was like maybe even two platforms where there was an enemy on each, and then you were supposed to somehow defeat them, but you obviously couldn't because you didn't have anything to attack them from that range. So it was like I was did like circumference around the available walking space and was unable to find a way to hit them. So it was just ultimately just all right, hit reset and
Yeah.
go back
Now,
in.
another problem I had, and this could be patched by the time you're watching this, um, but my game crashed a lot, and it was particular missions that every time I did it, and after like 3 or 4 times of doing the same mission, it crashed. I gave up, and I did not finish this game because of that. Because I wanted to, I really wanted to go farther in this game, but once I hit that brick wall, and every time it crashed, it was just disheartening. It was like, oh my god, why are you crashing again and again and again and again? Same spots. Tried doing differently. Tried tackling that room last. It didn't matter, and you had to go through that room. So I don't know if you experienced any crashing bugs.
I think it was only a single crash I had the entire time while playing it, thankfully. So I did not share those same kind of frustrations with that nature of it. So
It made me very paranoid. I was like, well, I hope I make it through this. Like, is the next room gonna kill me? Like, every room is harrowing.
how about we jump into an aspect I did enjoy? I did notice upon replaying some of the same missions that the chest drops and stuff were completely random, so then I can get different weapons that I might have had on previous attempts. Um, there was some really cool weapons that I wish I would able to finish the level without dying and be able to hold on to that weapon. But at least on my current file, I'm still using the weapon that I got on this level that I like the third level or something that was unusually hard for me at the time, but now it made the rest of the game easier because I have like this really powered weapon that I haven't even traded out yet. So I do like the aspect of the random drops and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So each playthrough is different.
Well, yeah, that it kind of borrows from Diablo again in there, so you can definitely see the inspiration. There are some good things. The graphics are good. The random drop, I'm fine with. I found decent pieces of gear. It did suck dying and then losing those pieces of gear when you did find them. But overall, it's very enjoyable. And I think the problems that I personally have are very, very minor, and could be patched out. They could be fixed.
Yeah, yeah, you would think like there's like crash logs and stuff that could easily find what was causing your game in particular to crash more frequently than others. So
It's not
uh,
even that. It's even
yeah,
like the enemies on screen just allow you to run away and move and not
yep.
get locked out. I mean,
Yeah, I would obviously you don't want to make it so you can progress forward with like in terms of the enemy locking the screen, but you should at least be able to return the screen that you had come from, I would think. So,
yeah, something to prevent you from getting stuck in a screen where you have to reset, because that's just not good game design.
yep,
That's But it's fun. I mean, it is a fun game, and if you are looking for an action role playing game, it's certainly a good title. The Switch has a few good titles like that, so it's up there. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I wouldn't say it's the worst either. And with those minor gripes fixed, it's definitely up there near the top for me. It grew on me very much so.
yeah, it definitely. I mean, I was showing it to a friend because I was like, "Hey, this is actually pretty reasonable, fun game." And then I kind of showed him with some of the mission layout and stuff, and he seemed very intrigued by this kind of style of play. So I obviously pointed out my those same kind of issues that we had talked about. But did you like go through like the skill tree and learn all the different skills, or even use them, or did you feel they were not very useful?
I thought the skills were useful. I started to, but again, I didn't like fully unlock everything because of once I hit the wall and I just kept crashing. I put the game down. I said, "That's it." I can only
Yeah,
take so much.
Yeah, I really found myself just not even really using the skills because that one overpowered weapon that I have, um, the damage is actually based off on my character's defense. So it's like all the defensive armor that I'm wearing, it just keeps scaling up to do more damage, even though it's like a tier one weapon. So
That's awesome.
it kind of made it pretty broken in a sense because obviously your gear is gonna get stronger, and then that just increases the damage that I do. So like inevitably just made everything a lot turn a lot easier where I could just go wham, 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 boom, okay, that guy's dead. Wham, 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 that guy's dead. And it's got very easily broken at that point. But as I
And
was saying,
at least that's broken in your favor.
yeah, definitely. There was one of the weapons I did find on level 3 was this one particular weapon that was like, oh, it increased after every hit increases the chance of an instant KO. And I was like, oh, I really wish I could have kept that weapon because that could have been even more broken than my armor scaling weapon. So, but
Yeah, that. Well, you have to wonder about the percentages. Like any type of game like this, you know, how really effective and how good are the percentages, and are they skewed?
yeah, I found myself not even really using some of the other skills just because of how powerful my weapon was. So I was still kind of using my skill points and unlocking everything, but I wasn't really actively actually using any of those abilities. So,
Yeah, I was using them, but see, I think that's a good thing of game design is when you can make two people play the same class and they have two different experiences playing, two different play
yep,
styles.
yep,
So that's a plus in its favor.
yep, I would agree. You always want to encourage different experiences
Oh
in
yeah,
these kind of games. So even though like the path is somewhat linear or like the maps are always going to be basically the same for every player, but having different routes through them and everything like that, each player can have get different weapons, different equipment, different character classes, and different experiences is always a plus. So,
absolutely. Now,
um,
would you would you recommend this game to somebody? It is 12.99 right now, digital. Would you say 12.99? This is definitely worth their 12.99, or should they put that towards one of the other good games coming out or games that are already out?
see, I think it would depend on the interests of the said person I was recommending it to. If they absolutely love those kind of like shmup type games, I would think it would be a lot stronger of a recommendation. But
But it's
someone
not
that's
a
like,
shmup though; it's an action
I'm,
RPG.
I mean, it didn't mean like a shmup. I mean, more like you said, like that beat 'em up style game where you can, it's kind of like whatever Double Dragon, Final Fight, all those kind of scrolling like action games. So if they really like those games, then I would give it a stronger recommendation. Whereas if somebody's just looking for, hey, what's a good game can I buy on Switch right now that I can play, I might not recommend this one over than waiting for a different upcoming one or an already released game, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I think I'm with that too. I think at 12.99, I would rather suggest somebody get like Diablo 3 if this is their type of game, which is coming out soon of at the time of the recording. If you've already beaten Diablo 3, it is an older game, then you can't go wrong here either, especially if some of these bugs and stuff are addressed. If this goes on sale, for 50% off or something, then I definitely recommend it,
Oh,
even if this is
easily.
a
Yep.
side game. Yeah,
Yeah, if it was like a really good sale, like whatever during E3 when they do these things, it's definitely would be a recommendation at that point, saying yes, this is a really good game to check out if you like these kinds of games. So action RPGs.
yeah, it's it's definitely unique though. I mean, it's good, different niche on the Switch, and I'm glad to have gotten to play it. So I am thankful for that.
Oh,
I,
definitely.
and if I find news of it patching, like where I won't have these crashes, I'll go back to it when I find the time. It had enough of a draw to me to pull me back in.
Yep, I would agree. Yep, that's where it's a lot easier to do a couple levels here at a time, and then you can take whatever long break from it, and then you'll still feel obligated to, or feel have a desire to go back and beat a few more. So,
Absolutely.
which
Well,
obviously is a good sign of for a game. So,
oh yeah, yeah, and it's fun. Most importantly, it is fun when it's not being frustrating.
yep. I had no issues with like the graphics, any of the music, none of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, all that's part of the whole package, and it's created a very good experience, at least for me overall. So I thought everything went very well together.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely so.
Was there anything else that you wanted to add in?
No, no, I think that covers my experience. I mean, I'd love to know what you guys think if you guys have played it. Let us know in the comments below what you think of this game, and if this is like, hey, this is my favorite game, or oh, I tried this and it's terrible. Like, let us know your feelings.
Yep, we definitely like to read what our fellow community members enjoy and dislike about the game. So be sure to leave your likes down in the comments. And then be sure to stay tuned to NintendoFuse.com for all of our latest news updates, podcasts, industry talks, everywhere. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all those kind of socials. So please sure to give us a like and a follow if you enjoy our content. And then be sure to stay tuned to our website and channels for further updates. So thanks, Barry, for doing a little chat with me.
My pleasure.
Then we'll see you guys all next time in the next one.
Have a good one.